Welcome back, Rico Moneybags, the channel helping you invest in yourself so we can invest in the future. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure the bell notification stays lit so like that you guys will not miss out for any future updates. And as you guys can tell, I'm very excited for the stream. The title kind of gives it away. We're going to get you excited by some crypto giveaways, some free crypto, and some free alpha because as you guys can see by the thumbnail, and obviously the title says special guest Blunt House. But before I bring them up, I want you guys to max engage completely. I want you to start off right here on X and on YouTube, wherever you guys are at, actually. We're also streaming on 2 X accounts, a YouTube channel, and also a Party account, which a lot of people are not talking about Party right now, but we are streaming on Party as well. So come over here. It's super important, fam. If you guys, want to see your bags grow, if you guys want to see, your favorite project get that exposure, if you guys want to get your community to stop panic selling, if you guys want to get your community to be like, hey, I don't want to be a paper hand because maybe things are going to turn around. This is the stream for you. Okay. This is much more than just chart go up, chart go down. We're going to be giving you guys some serious alpha. I'm going to grab this link to make it even that much easier for you guys because I get really excited for these streams because basically you guys get to have something that's amazing and it's yours. And when you have this, doesn't matter where you're at in the world, what you're doing, who you're with, you guys own this and it's yours. All right. So right now we do got the overall crypto market cap on a really nice pullback, right? Let's be honest. We're all being as stoic as can be. We're in pure Plato mode or Marcus Aurelius looking like a statue over here. We're, in our thinking position, Socrates mode right now because, the market pulled back. It was a lot more exciting around $4 trillion market cap, but in retrospect, when I look, I remember when we were just getting excited about getting to 3 trillion, right? Yes, the charts are pulling back. Yes, the prices are not exciting. But the last time we felt like this, BNB was BTC was well under 100K. Ethereum was around like $1,800. BNB was cruising at like $500-600. So yeah, it's not what we want or what we were having, that euphoric moment of everything pumping. But when you look back from where we came from to where we're at right now, we're in a better position. I know a lot of people might not think that right now. And, we're going to keep the charts. We're going to keep our fingers on the pulse of these charts to let you know when it actually does turn around. But the market seemed to be holding on. They got a grip, 104. Yes, it's not 126. It's not something super impressive to go tell your friends about. 3,400 ETH is still pretty good. It's holding, and ETH is slow. So it's doing what it can do. BNB holding strong at 959. So this is a price that we would wish to have on BNB right now. Remember when I was telling you guys to buy BNB at 450 and I was joking around and I was saying, hey, not financial advice, but BNB's on fire sale right now, 2 for 1 at 450. And really, it went up past the 1K that I thought it would go up to. It went up to 13 and some change. Now, you can never call the ultimate top or the ultimate bottom, but I got somebody special that's going to help us be able to track the price a little bit and with some indicators that do give us a competitive edge to be able to notice when these markets are pivoting. Okay, so we're going to get into that. I see the stream climbing right away. We'll jump into BTC's prices just for a sec. And I also want to come over here to his page, actually, before we get into some price. And I want to show his channel. And I see you guys going crazy in the chat. I see the stream picking up steam right away. So I really appreciate that. And like I said, this is a crypto giveaway show. So the more people to pull up, the better it is. Let me grab this link right here for you guys as well. Make sure you guys give Blunt a follow right here at Blunt420. Super bullish channel. I mean, completely underrated. It's certainly not all about numbers when it comes to X and where you guys get the alpha that we'll be talking about today, that it is for free. I mean, and I'm actually sending you guys money. Saphir, let's go, bro. I miss you, bro. We didn't stream yesterday. I love Saphir so much. You guys don't even know. We got Fired Chicken in here. Like lately, fam, we've been doing so good on the live stream. So just thank you so much. And that's why I want to do a crypto giveaway and bring you guys some free alpha and bring somebody very special to the space up here, right? I'm going to bring him up just in a bit because I want to build suspense for you guys because it is that type of alpha, right? He's ready to go. I mean, he's ready at all times, but I'm building suspense for you guys because to me, he is the alpha. So we got Prophet Bear in the house as well. Welcome in, Prophet Bear. I got to say what's up to this whole community. Shout out to the Jesus Coin community, very vibrant community in the space. Just listening while working. I appreciate you, bro. I really, really do. So right here on this BTC chart, we got some of the stuff that we actually talked about on the channel. Let's be honest. You guys can go back and check the receipts. And it's not because I'm a guru. It's not because I'm better than you. It's not because I read more books than you. I'm smarter than you or anything like that. No, I've been practicing this. I've been refining this. And boy, do I get refined. I've been in the refiner, right? I've been myself in the refiner, and this is what we want to talk about today. And I'm going to bring him up himself in just a bit, but we did talk about this on the channel. You guys can go back and check the receipts, and not because, like I said, I'm some type of guru or anything like that, but because we're just using our filters, these filters, right? The indicator that we're using, the moving averages, and they let us know kind of up here that, hey, it was getting toppy at 123. But when BTC did that wipeout and the whole market wiped out, and we started cruising on this 200 moving average, go back and check the videos. When this buy signal came out, I'm always optimistic. I'm bullish on the market. But when I said, hey, first mouse, I mean, it's right here in front of our face. How can we say this back to back on the channel? And we literally see it right here, right? And here goes this first mouse, second mouse. Did we not say that? Right? We talked about that, right? What Blunt talks about, the M's and the W's. And this first mouse gets the squeeze, second mouse gets the cheese, which I saw some of the Kendu fam commenting about on our post. Right here, this is how it happened. So although I was very bullish and I was happy that the market was turning around and we had our buy signals, this is why it's important that we refine this and sharpen it, because we knew that the first tap on this 50 moving average, which is this blue one right here, most likely was going to fail. It's not a guarantee that every time it's going to fail, but for most of the times when it has this type of momentum, you know, and you get this first buy signal, this is just, you know, nothing to be really concerned about. You want that kind of extra confirmation. And plus, you know, this kind of phrase, this little thing kind of comes in handy because it keeps me from thinking I used to be the first mouse. Let me raise my hand. I mean, let's have some accountability on the channel, man. You guys raise your hand in the chat really quick if you guys have been the first mouse and you're shorting something or you're longing something and you start to get into profit, it starts to pull back or your profit starts to come down and you're like, ooh, I'm not going to give that profit back. I just started making profit. Why would I give that back? Right. And the minute you close that trade, it bounces off this 50 moving average. And you're like, oh my God, I was right. I knew that it was going to go that way. And I felt like it could flush, but I was too early or something. No, this little shape happens quite a bit. So I see the stream picking up quite a bit. We already have 46 people on multiple platforms. It is picking up the pace. And I love having you guys up in here. Part of the intro of this stream is saying what's up to you guys, kind of reminding us why we do this on a regular basis, because some of the stuff that we talk about might get redundant because it's taking day after day. We're looking at a daily chart, we're zoomed out. But is it really that redundant when we really see the second mouse getting the squeeze? Wouldn't you been better off waiting for your entry and something to happen in this section at the lower value range to start looking for a long than, you know, trying to look for the long because you see a couple green candles when this trend is going down? You know, you're connecting these tops. So all right, so I'm not going to make you guys wait too much longer. I am very confident that the stream is going to continue to pick up because now it's at 56, 57, 58. It just keeps climbing. So I'm going to bring him up here without no further ado. I think I built up enough suspense. I'm using his indicator right here. This is some of the stuff that we talked about, and a lot of people don't talk about this and actually show you guys. We're actually showing you guys. We're telling you some of the stuff that can happen, and we're not fortune tellers or nothing like that, right? We're just tracking the price. And this guy right here, I'm going to bring him up, Blunt House 420, has been really helping out, not just myself, but everybody in the stream track this price. So welcome up, Blunt House. It's always a real pleasure to have you up here because, you know, I think you're not only somebody who has an amazing indicator, but you're somebody who has a great source of knowledge. And I think this knowledge would be also good. You know, most people might think like, oh, I'm not trading Bitcoin. I'm not doing futures, but wouldn't you want to not feel panic selling pressure in your favorite, you know, token groups if you knew the chart was going to turn around because a higher time frame was bullish? So I'm so happy to have you up here, Blunt. So welcome up here, Blunt House 420. The chat's happy to see you. Welcome up to the stream, man. How are you doing today?
Glad to be here. This is I enjoy doing these. They're a lot of fun for me. So this is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like when I don't see you for a couple of days, and then I joined the TG yesterday when you're streaming for the Fed chat, which we'll talk about later on, and I'll do a re-show on your channel where they can find you. I jumped into TG and me and Delatoshi was talking in there for like 30 minutes, thinking that you had a broken mic and you were running to the store to go get a new mic. And then we go check on X and you're live. And I'm like, Delatoshi, let's get out.
I had no idea. I had no idea, but thank goodness it was just on TG though.
Yeah, that's it. I
would have been really upset if it was just, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours of just blank.
Yeah, I did that in the early days of figuring this stuff out. I had
Yeah.
moments like that where I went back and listened to the video, and I had a microphone that had a little button that you can turn on and off. And when I was done editing and doing everything, I noticed that that green light was off. I was like, please tell me that I turned it off after I did this stream. And that thing was not off the whole time. I go back, and I'm just miming it. I'm like, oh my God, what a rookie. So speaking of being a rookie, Blunt, and this is something that goes for people that are pros, or you know, even somebody, you know, that's just starting off. You know, this is some of the stuff that we talk about, that anybody in between, because you know, I come from trading since 2017, had made a lot of money during the bull run, got spanked in the bear market, learned how to survive, just literally kept my nose above the water during the bear market. Then I meet you, so here I am with just some kind of experience, some kind of trading experience. I survived the bear market, right? And I find all the stuff that you have right here so important to the space. So I do want to bring you up here and talk about a little bit of price. I want to share your screen if that's okay with you, if you have
Yeah, sure.
share, so we can go over BTC, because I know the people are dying to hear about this first mouse, this second mouse, because I mean, it's right in everybody's face. I mean, come on now.
Okay, here we go.
There we go, brother.
There you go. Yeah, so you know, really, you know, to Rico's earlier point, what we're just trying to do is keep everyone safe. We don't, you know, you don't have to jump into the moat full of crocodiles or anything like that. But this is a very difficult space to get your head around, because it's filled with just noise. It's filled with everyone's opinion and a little bit of groupthink and group speak thrown in for good measure. And it's really real easy to get lost in the weeds of all of that. And you know, one of the biggest challenges is blocking out all of that and focusing on what the chart's telling you. And I can appreciate that that's a process. What I've tried to do with what you see on your screen, and you'll kind of notice that we have, is all that's on this screen, by the way, is the basic script that I've set with the T line, which is the 8 EMA, which is in yellow, and the 5 EMA, which is in white, and it will change colors from white to red when there's selling pressure. There's a whole bunch of other things going on in the background here, and there's other parts to this whole thing. But in its simplest terms, what I'm trying to do is take out all of this stuff that makes this complicated. And I go back to when I first started to learn technical analysis. It was on the heels of my first real stock trade that went up in smoke. And I was like, okay, there's got to be more to this. I just don't know what it is. Was introduced to TA, and initially I was overwhelmed. I'm hearing terms and vernacular that I've never heard before. This was probably 25 years ago, so our charting wasn't quite as advanced. So that was a challenge. And I struggled with learning. And part of it was because there was so much that I thought I had to absorb, only to realize after the fact that it was completely unnecessary. And I was just filling my head with things that would just rattle around, keeping me from actually learning and understanding how price moves. And if you were in our stream, I know Rico was last Tuesday and Thursday, we were talking about, this is Tuesday's candle on the far right here, saying that, hey, this is starting to look a little toppy. We have to keep an eye on what's going on here. And then, of course, the following candle is a pretty heavy red dagger. And you can start to see what's happening with these two lines that I mentioned before. Right now, you're trading on the south side, like here, for example, of these two levels. And what's happening is that you're being told that the trend is down. And this is applicable on any time frame. So in this case, you're being told the trend is down, and as long as there's divergence between those two levels, you can stay in the trade in that direction, which in this case is short. And all these candles are just green candles in a downtrend, or a red candle in an uptrend. And what are we doing? Well, the T line is filtering out a lot of noise, right? And the 5 EMA is kind of acting as a trigger, right? Partially. As long as price trades and there's divergence in one direction, so you trade on the south side and the divergence between these two levels is down, the downtrend sticks. And this is way easier to learn than the way I kind of originally started to learn and what I was being taught. Although relevant, it just seemed like so much information. And in the most simplest of terms, this is how I'm tracking trend. And again, this happens on any time frame, but this is how we're tracking trend. And the price movements within the trend can be filtered with this methodology by how that divergence takes place. Now, a lot of traders, you would see these candles here and everyone thinks, well, time to buy, right? And then you get faced with that. And then you're forced out of your trade, more or less, if you're a little bit leveraged. So as long as you see this divergence and you don't see any other signals, you're working under a downtrend, you can stay in the trade. This little bit at the top and this little bit at the bottom, think of it as the insurance you pay. Right? Could you have taken the trade up top here? Sure, but the market hadn't determined yet that it wanted to roll over. Right? Was thinking about it, but this is where it absolutely made the decision. And this is just some metrics that are working on in the background to filter out noise and false signals and things like that. But that's why we wait to get the signal, because the market's obviously figuring things out. These three candles here, you don't get a signal, and then boom, you get a retracement. And what we were talking about last week is that if this starts to roll over, we work under the assumption that we break one level, we find the next. Well, what are those levels? Well, let's just, for a little bit of context, we'll throw on a few major moving averages. So we have the 20 in green, the 50 in blue, and then the 200 in red. So when you break one level and find the next, as you can see, this big meltdown, not the best example because it's such a terrible candle, but it splits through the 20, but it instantly finds the 50. Right? And when it broke the 50, it's looking for another level down. Impulse down, you go sideways, you don't change trend. Right? This is still a downtrend. Still a downtrend. Still a downtrend. Where would you be short to? Instantly, the 200. Break one level, find the next, break that level, find the next, break that level, find the next. First attempts, typically get support or a pause. The probability is higher of that. And, here we are today taking a little bit of a bounce, but is this the first attempt? This is the 50. Is this the first attempt of the 50 since you failed it back here? Yes. And those are more likely to fail, or at least find a pause. And you can see price finds resistance at the 50. And these wicks that you see at the top of these candles, what does that tell you? It's telling you that price is being pushed down. So it's a first attempt. You can actually see them pushing price down. So with all of that little stuff put together, you're like, yeah, probably going to be short again. And price rolls over. Now, Rico, do you remember on Thursday of last week when we were talking about all of this unfolding and we were saying to ourselves, where would price go if this breakdown was to continue? If we were to break the 200? Well, we identified a level at 100,946, which is this level right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is us last week, right? All this kind of stuff. So this level, like we talked, if you break the 200, well, you're looking for past price, because that's one of the measures we're going to use, because current price looks for past. So in the event of a breakdown, what's happening? Current price is looking for past price. Why? Because it's been there before. It's where buyers and sellers have shaken hands in the past, and where the areas are of more concentrated price, that draw is stronger. So we break one level, we find the next. If we were to break the 200 here, what was the downside risk? Well, we start looking for past price. So what did we do? We just lined up the base of these two candles here, can connect these wicks, can connect these wicks in here, and then we start averaging price from 2024 on this chart, tops, bottoms, and things like that, paying particular attention to these candles in here. And what happened? Boom. There you are. That's how you set targets.
Yeah, I mean, what was amazing about it is that we talked about it, and it's like that's what I was saying when I was bringing you up. It's like I appreciate the super chat from the Oliver community. You guys are hey Rico, Savage, Deb from the Oliver. Want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you again. Now, thank you for pulling up. Thank you for the super chat. Keep grinding away. You guys got a fantastic community already. Keep doing your thing nonstop, man. Don't let the market shake you out. But Blunt, what we were saying is, what was amazing was that last time, this is something that we get to mark out and we get to see these things kind of roll over. And it's like in the beginning of the stream, sometimes I feel bad for people because they're like, I was like, I know it can get redundant sometimes, right? Because we're zoomed out, we're looking at this daily chart, and it's like, okay, well, where is it going? When is it going to happen? It's like, well, but it's not that redundant when we're actually looking at these prices that we talked about, right? Yeah. Now it has all this value. This is where that hindsight is 2020 thing starts to come to light and stuff.
And really, how do you take the noise out of your charts? Just, go to a longer time frame. And what you'll see, again, so here's this 100,900 and whatever level, this blue line. And you can kind of see what we're lining up quite clearly, tops and bottoms of price action. That's why I put that line there. And we talked about this on Thursday. If you start breaking this level in here, you've already identified break one level, find the next. Everything is fractal. So what you see on one time frame, you'll find on another time frame. The same phenomenons and patterns reappear time and time again. And when you're using fractals or fractal analysis, you're able to get maybe a quicker look of where these reversals and changes in price may happen, because they'll allow us to line up multiple time frames to get confluence. Right. So we often talk like if we're looking for a nice trade off the daily chart, whatever chart that happens to be, I'm usually looking at the 4 hour for sure, maybe even the 1 hour, but certainly the 4 hour, because that's the 4 hour that I'm going to be able to start to pick up whether or not a reversal is coming. If I see it on the 4 hour, likely if the momentum continues, I'll see it on the daily. How do I know what that momentum looks like? Well, because it looks like this. So on this daily chart of Bitcoin, if you go back to Saturday, the 12th of April this year, consider this your insurance. This is the price that you pay for making a safe, profitable trade. Market's been pulling back. It's been retracing relatively hard here, starting to base out a bit. That's positive, but you're waiting for the signal. There it is. It comes right at the 20-day moving average. And if you'll notice, look how the 20 was acting as resistance for price, right? So you were certainly eager to get above it, but you have no idea what comes after that candle, right? Well, this is, here we break the 20. Is this the first attempt to the, well, I guess this would be the first real attempt to the 20. It fails, fails, fails. Finally, your go candle. And notice the divergence that's taken hold here. Let's expand that for you. Between the T line and the 5 EMA. So that's a signal that the trend has changed. Has it changed for 1 candle, 10 candles, or 50 candles? We don't know yet. This, all we can do is just deal with 1 candle at a time. So, okay, you just entered the trade. Darn it, the next day's candle is red. What does that mean? Do you panic? Do you freak out? No. Here's all you should be concerned about is that this divergence is in place and trending higher. As long as that's the case, you're going to be able to manage this trade. So the idea is to get you a good entry. Part of that is early but safe. And this is why the candles aren't necessarily as important. Because basically, we're swing trading this in essence. So you can kind of still see your signal here minus the candlesticks, but pay attention to the divergence in those two lines. Remember, this is a daily chart. It always gets a little rastered when you take the candles off, but you can kind of see what's going on. Notice there you had a little regression in price, but it didn't break trend. 5 EMA price didn't have enough momentum to the downside to pull that short-term average down and start to change the trend. Didn't have enough. You can just see price continues to climb. Now, are you bitter about the couple green candles a few months ago that you gave up to get here? Probably not. You don't even remember them anymore, in all honesty, because, you were in way back here. Month and change. Just by doing what the chart told you to do. That's the hard part. Because do I know more than the market? No, I don't. I have no, and I don't, you can't pretend, right, to think you do. All I know is that we have a means to filter out all of the BS in price action that we see on an intraday perspective, right? These sideways candles, did they break trend? Nope. Still diverging higher? Yes. Still trading above these levels? Yes. Well, then stay on the trade. Simple as that. Uh-oh, 2 red candles. Do we sell? Some people would. But if you understand what this divergence is telling you, and if you notice how this line, they've spread out compared to this, for example, that's momentum. Right? Price doesn't like to get too far away from these levels. It's pretty hot here, but you notice the wicks come back and kind of tag that area a little bit, and the beat goes on. There's more sideways price action, right? Doji, doji, doji. That starts to make you feel like maybe it's time to go. But we were told by the chart itself to stay in the trade. And that's all you do is just listen to the chart. It's the only thing that matters. It's a real-time representation of what money is doing, not what people are saying. And it's what the money's doing. That's the most important thing, not what people are saying. That's irrelevant. Now, does every signal print a runner like this? No. Right? Don't expect that. Don't expect that, right? We're just following price. We're not doing anything except following what price is actually doing on the chart. That's all we're doing. We're not trying to be predictive. We're just following. Now, as we start to layer on context with some of our indicators, yeah, it can look predictive. And I guess in some reasonable way, it is. But we're just following the market. I believe that technical analysis is the language of the market. It is a real-time representation of what money is doing and not what people are saying. And our job is just to monetize the chart. That's the job. It's not to have a relationship with the ticker. It's to monetize the chart. Well, how do we do that? Well, we just follow it. Like, you don't have to wake up every morning and think that you need to figure out before everyone else on the planet what price might do on any given time frame you're trading. And that's not it. Like, is all we're doing is following the ebb and flow of price. It's, it's an inhale and exhale. Money in, money out, money in, money out. And that's our job, is just to monetize these waves. This is a good example. We talk about this all the time. Don't trade chop. Well, this is what chop is. That sideways stuff. If we take the candles off, like we just demonstrated before, where you can kind of manage your trade even without any candles, when you see this, you don't want to trade that. Don't even look at it. Right? It's just sideways, 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 sideways. What you're looking for is this kind of divergence to the upside and that kind of divergence to the downside. This stuff in here is just consolidation. That's all it is, just sideways price action.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
what we're looking for.
Yeah, 100%. I think what's good about like something that you were saying, like blocking out the noise, and like I've been tracking APLHA quite a bit, right? That thing's been, one taught me a lesson. It taught everybody a lesson. And then there's another lesson that it actually taught the other day when it went back up really fast, that even though CZ made this post about it and it shot up really fast, and you get all this noise on the outside, really that didn't even matter that he was super bullish at the moment, because price pulled right back to where it was at right away. So this is why it's important. Yeah, there's times where that fundamental stuff plays out, because one keyword can make something send, and that's all fine and all that. But this last week after, and you guys let me know in the chat, honestly, I want you guys to truly engage. We're going to do some crypto giveaways. We got the XPX giveaway. I'm going to give away some BNB. If you guys want to use that for buying some coffee, or you guys want to get into the 5K giveaway, if you guys want to throw it up in the air or burn it on the blockchain, do what you guys want with it. But I'm going to give that away for you guys. So just be patient, because I want to lock in on some of these things, because this is we're experiencing, and I like accountability. I really do. And watching APLHA over this time, and another thing that he talked about was like paying the insurance. And you want to do that. You want to get a better entry. And let me know in the chat if after that wipeout you kind of had to take a step back. And I don't think that you need to go touch grass or go build a Noah's Ark or nothing like that. I'm just saying, take a step back and don't click the mouse button, right? You don't necessarily have to get away from it, because you're trying to hone this in, right? You're trying to get this refined. So it's not about, just running away from the furnace when you got a whole forge going on, right? So I was able to look back. And I want you guys to come over here, and if you guys are just tuning in, I'm going to share a screen really quick, because it's actually, I want to share something really important, and I think it's important to the channel to get this alpha. Let me move this tab over here 1 second, and then we'll go to the next ticker. We got already over 500 people in here, so we got them. We got them up in here, man. We're gonna have some fun, so we'll have a good time. But I do want to share my screen. 1 second, fam. I appreciate your guys' patience, because this to me is very important. If you guys can come over here and give Blunt a follow, okay? This is why it's important, because this information over this time that was going by, I was able to track price a lot different, right? Because, okay, I was in a trade, it went up, I took some profit. I should have just cleared it out. That's what I've been doing lately. I've been just setting my target.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been setting my target, and when my target hits, I'm out of Dodge. I learned a lesson, okay? And I want to be accountable, and I want to, wear my heart on my sleeve with you guys, so you guys can learn from these mistakes and possibly not even have to go through them yourself, right? But over this week, where I took a step back and I just started, the rhythm has been good. The last like 3 or 4 days have been like, yeah, I'm just feeling like the Rocky song is playing, right? And really was taking a step back, not no trades, and really locking in on these moving average. And the way that you guys can get this indicator, and that's why I said it's important, is because I don't feel right having an edge above like my community in this chat. And I want you guys to come over here to this website. you know, there's enough money in the whole space. Everybody can use this indicator and we could all still make money. So that there's no need to gatekeep this indicator. Come over here and message Blunt. Okay, this is how you guys can get your hands on this indicator. Write him a really nice message, you know, put some nice emojis in there. Say, hey, Rico, send me over here, this, that, and the third. And like that, you guys can get tapped in. And you guys can see how these moving averages really come into play and how these indicators start to work, you know, the chop and, you know, paying that insurance, all these little phrases that start to add up, especially when you take a step back from this stuff. So I learned to, over these last couple of days, to pay that insurance. It worked out really good. I also, you know, just waiting for the perfect entry. And it's just been a lot more fun, even so much so that when it turned around on one of them, and I don't advise nobody to do this, I just did reversed it, because now I just want to get out and just go when it's ready to go the opposite way. And it's been really good because, you know, I've been refining this. So here we go right now with BTC. You guys see this, you know, you got even on the 15-minute chart looking down here, these moving averages start to play out a huge significant underneath this 200 moving average. You know, it's like, do you want to try to keep fighting underneath the 50 and trying to catch it? You know, you're stop. You said this the other day. I think it was, you're like, or it was a while back. It's like, yeah, there's blood everywhere. You're trying to catch the falling knife, and there's blood in the street. Is your freaking blood? It's like, golly. And it's because when you're trading, and sometimes you will, right? And we talked about this before. We bend the rules a little bit, and I don't encourage you guys to do this. Like, really stick to your strategy. But there's certain moving averages that you couldn't put a gun up to my head and get me to go against it. Like, you can forget about it, and you can see, like, especially like the 50 and one that's in this indicator that I'm just going to sneak on really quick. I know a lot of you guys are new to the channel. I don't want to clutter it up too much. One that I have recently, and that's why this indicator is important. I want to share these links with you guys, because if you guys go on TradingView right now, you're only going to be allowed to use 1 or 2 indicators. You're already starting behind, and you're not building your rhythm with all the tools that you truly need. Okay. And that's why I'm taking a second before we bring up Blunt again. I know you guys want to hear him break down the next ticker. Let me know what you guys want to buy and sell, and we'll bring it up. But this 100 Blunt is, oh my God, this 100 is powerful. Oh my God. I'm just going to turn it on for a second for you guys. Okay. And a 1000 as well, but we'll just turn on this 100 really quick. Okay. This purple line, and I'm going to turn it back off. We're going to bring Blunt back up. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that on TradingView, you wouldn't be able to have all these indicators plus the volume profile if you just have a normal account. So imagine trying to start off trading. You're trying to get your account started. You're trying to figure this out. Plus, you got to put all this money into capital so you can trade. Now you're got to pay for this. This is an easy way for you guys to get this indicator right here. And also on top of it, have all these moving averages. You have the 5 EMA. You have the T line, which is the 8. You have the 20 EMA. You have the 50 EMA. You have this 100, which this 100 lately has been where I kind of like it, because if you notice, look at when it first broke above the 50, it was choppy. But I've been noticing the moves above the 100. Ooh, they're nice. You know,
they're the ones that take you to, if you, so I don't often, so what you're seeing, what Rico's showing you, you actually have the flexibility to drop in any length average that you want. If you don't want to use 20 and you want it to be 24, correct, I don't care. Well, you have that ability to do that. But this is a real good example of, I was really like this chart, because this is going to be the first touch right in here. It looks like both the 200 and the 20, I think. Yep. So quite often, you know, you start to roll like that and you get excited. And what happens? You hit support for the first time and then you bounce. And then what you end up with is either A, just a simple continuation off of support, and you go on and take out those highs of that wave. Or you end up double topping the chart, and then you're having another conversation with yourself. But quite often, although they look like rollovers, they're just continuations off of support, and they can fake out a lot of people. And that's really a great example of why you wait for the signal. Absolutely.
And why this indicator is strong for you guys, because you're not going to, TradingView has got bougie on us. Okay. When I first started back in the day, 2017, they wanted anybody and everybody to be on it. You could use as many indicators. You can switch. You can have as many tabs on many screens as you want. Now they got rules on how many indicators, how many tabs you're allowed to have open. And, you know, that's already putting you guys behind. If you guys want to me, this is a cheat code. Yeah. Contact Blunt, and you guys can have all of these moving averages plus his volume profile. And I think that's a good way to get your mind to start to absorb this and not have to go back and relearn some of this stuff, because you learned it because you only had the option of 2 or 3 indicators. right? So
Yeah,
you're only using you're only using 3 moving averages. Then you have enough capital to get the indicator. You go about it backwards, and now you got to relearn all these other new moving averages, right? And now
yeah,
you're refining a gold again all over. It's like,
yeah.
so that's why I wanted to share this, Blind. And I don't, obviously I didn't want to interrupt you, but I want to
No.
interject for a second, because this is a great way for people to have all these tools, and at a very reasonable price, where they don't have to go the trading view route, and it's not the right way to go. And look how beautiful this looks. Honestly, that's a perfect looking chart of what we talk about. So I'm going to bring Blunt back up. We'll go to the next ticker, and we'll keep it moving. I want you guys to post some tickers down below. If you guys got some tickers, I see we got Mikey up in here. Welcome in, bro. I see we got Delatoshi, a couple other people pulling up. We got about 680 people in here, so that's really nice. If you guys can max engage for me and really post these live streams in the YouTube channel, get the gorillas in here, get other people in here. It's for your guys' bag, and it's free alpha, and I'm even going to do some free crypto. So I'm paying you guys to learn the alpha that you guys need to essentially potentially be financially free at some point. So, but let's bring you back up and bring that beautiful chart and that stuff that you do and that good old wisdom that you spill, because I'm not doing this just for you. You guys thought I was doing this for you guys? You guys thought I was doing this for the chat? Oh, forget it. I wasn't doing this for you guys. I'm over here trying to squeeze Blunt for some more
Rico's
of this private
sessions that he just puts on YouTube. Yeah. So actually, I just pulled up. It's basically the same 15-minute chart that you had minus the averages, and you can see now on this 15-minute, you're just starting to produce a sell signal. Now, what are your options as you're kind of approaching this level? One of the things I always pay attention to are candles like this, where you've got this kind of impulse candle up, and then the next candle has an equal top. Those are usually turn out to be little reversal candles, but you just don't know until the next candle's produced, and here you are now producing a sell signal. So what I'm getting at is, although you probably are thinking at some point here, okay, this is going to fade and it's going to be time to short this. This is why you pay the insurance. You just don't know what comes after this candle or this candle. Mm-hmm. Wait for the confirmation, certainly in the beginning, and don't try and cheat. The reason that you're allowed to, or we build in the averages, I'm just going to click on just a few here, just for interest's sake, is because although we have the indicator buy and sell element to the script, what I'm really working with is a systematic way of trading, and the averages and the volume profile are very much part of that system. And just to kind of give you an example using this 15-minute Bitcoin chart, and Rico knows probably why I'm using it, is because, if this leg higher is to ultimately retrace, you're going to start to come back and check the 20, just like you see price doing. If it doesn't hold and fails this level, is it going to find the next level? The problem is that when you load a volume profile onto your chart, you're going to see, like in here, for example, this big indent, and that's a volume gap, right? So volume gaps exist because this wave higher was somewhat parabolic, and there's not a lot of substance in those candles. Basically, they're filled with fairy dust and air. And when price comes back to challenge these levels that we've talked about before, breaking one level and then looking for the next as a target, and it falls into these gappy areas, price can move up or down really quick, because there's nothing in these candles, and that's what causes this gap, to hold up price on the way down. So these volume gaps and the shelves above them And this red line here is called the point of control, which is the most concentrated area of volume. These are value ranges, upper and lower. And they too are a draw for price. So as I look at this 15-minute chart, what's the next place I'm going to probably find a level of interest in? I'll see what happens when we get to the upper value range. But I'm really looking for the 200, fail one level, find the next. And this would be the first attempt at the 200 since it broke above it. And typically, there's a stronger probability that price gets support for the first attempt. If it doesn't, there's a message in that too. And there's probably momentum and velocity in the selling, and that's why price just broke through a certain level. And if it does break through that level, it's going to look for the next. But this being a pretty heavy gap, the point of control is probably more likely. And you can see that how price has gravitated there over time on this time frame. So these volume gaps are part of the system that we use to trade. So we have a way of filtering out these red candles that freak everybody out. We filter that stuff out. We're focused on the trend once we're on the right side of the trade. These volume gaps provide us with opportunity up or down, long or short. And the ranges, like the upper value range, lower value range, point of control, help us box in price, right? So this here is is like your battleground, I think. If you can get into this and you're short, I'd probably be short to the point of control, just as a target, for example. This is where you want to see if you bounce, right? Get your support at the 200, bounce. And then what happens is this just becomes a continuation of a support level. And then you're looking to take out these highs. Rinse, repeat. And then we do this on any time frame. So just to kind of give you an idea, like how you were talking before, obviously here's your 5-minute Bitcoin chart. Look at how price treats the 200 MA on the 5-minute chart. So the support and resistance happens on all these different time frames at basically major moving averages, time and time again. It's not the only metric we use, right? You're looking for benches of past price like this. It's like a staircase, right? Down, flat, down, flat, down, flat, down, flat. A little ugly in here. But it's just rewind play. So, your up signal was pretty clear. It was going to come, holding the 200 is critical. Why? Because the 200 on any time frame you're trading is your most basic bull bear indicator. So getting support here is exactly what you needed to happen. Not surprised that that's where your bounce came off of. And if you notice, this is also the lower value range, the base of these candles, the base of these candles. And it kind of cuts through all this past price up here at the same level. Again, that's how price is drawn, right? It's drawn to that past price. So now you've broken the 20 on this time frame, you're breaking the 50. The target to the downside would be your upper value range. And then, of course, your major moving averages, or these benches of past price. And what we're seeing, so let's just use this 5-minute as an example. So there's a 5-minute sell signal. So if you were thinking of going short and hoping to catch a runner, what would you want to see on the 15-minute? A sell signal, right? Do we have it on the 30-minute yet? Not yet, but you can see what's going on with price. You can see that you've started to fade the T line. You can see the volume gap below with the point of control down at this level. So this is the confluence that we're talking about, right? So you've got a short signal on your 5 and you took it. Right? You took this short signal. Now you're like, okay, how do I manage this trade? Well, this is all part of it. You're using fractal analysis. Now you're picking up that same short signal on the 15-minute chart. So is this just going to be a little bit of a retracement to the downside? Or is this the beginning of a larger reversal? We don't know yet. But we can identify the risk or the opportunity to the downside, and we can kind of rationalize a case to the upside. Right? This is not about being committed to being long or short. It's about being indifferent to price, up or down. I don't care if the price of Bitcoin goes up, and I don't care if it goes down. It's all that I care about it is that I'm on the right side of the trade when I'm trading it. That's it. It's just the means to an end. And when the chart wants to go short and roll, then I'll be there, because the job is to monetize the chart. That's the job. And that's what we do. And it's not that hard. In the most simplest form, we tell you when to buy and when to sell. Isn't that the $64,000 question that everybody wants to know? When do I buy? When do I sell? And what we're showing you here on the 15-minute chart and showing you this nice move to the upside, do they appear on other time frames? Absolutely. This is Rico's favorite.
It's become something special to me.
This is the Bitcoin monthly chart. So it's the same chart we were just looking at, just on a monthly time frame. And if you did one thing in 2023, it was to buy Bitcoin in April. In and around that, what is it, like 29 there, something like that, 28, but in here.
Yeah.
There's your buy signal. Here's the insurance you paid. All this flat stuff. All right. There's your safe entry. And if, like I said, if you did one thing in 2023 and that was buy Bitcoin in April, you've had your feet on the desk. And that sounds irrational, because we live in a world where we have, trading is, essentially 24/7, instant food, everything's instant information, whatever you want. Boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates, mania.
It does.
And it doesn't have to be that way. So you don't have to be trading daily over short time frames, causing yourself stress and using too much leverage and all of those wonderful things that people do. You could have taken that at 5 or 10x and not done anything for 2 years. And this is what I'm talking about as a filter. All of this here, like, the drama inside these red monthly candles on a daily and weekly basis?
Yeah.
Pretty intense, right? Like, we all remember.
Oh yeah, it must have been crazy. That's something that we're gonna have to learn how to deal with, because this is a new level of stoicism that you're gonna make it to when you handle these coming up.
Well, but you can see clearly the divergence starts to take place. You got your signal. You don't question it.
No.
Until the chart tells you to. But price just walked right up. Even this little sideways action here held the T line. This in here looked like the end was nigh, right? But all it did was pull back to the T line and held.
That's it.
Right. And then boom, like, actually, if you were looking at this candle, Rico, seeing that, price holding the T line, even though it's an ugly candle, but this divergence is telling you that in all likelihood you're okay.
Turn off the candles. I mean, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I want everybody who's listening, like, if you guys can, please, for one day, you're not taking a trade, just turn off the candles. Just so your brain and your eyes can understand and absorb that information. Because I mean, you turn off the candles, and then all that mania and kind of those red candles, they're like, oh well, there's tons of divergence. I don't, but that red candle, oh man, I don't know if it's because they, we've been playing red light, green light so much as kids, or if I don't know what it is, but boy, those red candles have a significant value in our ecosystem, in our brain, because you turn them off. I got 4 screens in front of me, right? And I have one screen on the 1 minute chart that's just a normal 1 minute chart. And lately I've been having another one of my other screens that's a 1 minute chart as well, but without the candles. And I notice how I feel compared to both of those different screens, and it's night and day. I swear to you, I'm 2 different people on those things. Just to really learn to calm down when I just see a couple red candles. It's nothing really. It's just red candles in an uptrend, or green candles in a downtrend. Yeah. And those little things go a long way, fam. They go a really long way.
This is the same chart, only the weekly. And you can see back here, that's where the signal on the monthly fired. And this has just been, one continuation off the 50 to another. And here we sit, literally, almost right on top of it. Now, do we have a sell signal? Right, yeah, we do on the weekly. But of course, this week is going to be all about whether or not we hold the 50 here, because what you're hoping for is that it looks like this move, right? Where your price retraced and then at the 50 bounced higher, took out this previous wave's low, or high rather, and then went on. And now here we are. So that's kind of what you're looking for again. You want price to bounce, take out this previous wave's high, and then move on. If it doesn't, this is where it gets sketchy. So you remember how we showed on the other chart and described the volume profile. Well, this one looks a little funky, doesn't it? It's got all this gray along the side that's really skinny. All of the dense trading is down here. The upper value range is well below the 200 MA. And of course, all this other stuff down here is nightmaric, right? But let's just pay attention to this area for now. This is the level that we identified on the daily chart that we could, that we could potentially hit, connecting all that past price, the base of these candles, things like that. If we fail this, this gray area here is already light volume. So it wouldn't take a lot for price to fall. And I know this sounds crazy, but to fall into this range in here for now. And we have to start looking for where price has been before. I don't think it's an accident that this wick and the tops of all of these candles through here are equal. Right? Like we showed you on our other Bitcoin chart. The levels that we drew on the daily over time, starting way back here, with the hope, of course, talk about winging it, right? Wanted to demonstrate that we could kind of identify levels early on that will become useful later on. And, here's kind of what we started to do. And you can see how price has respected a lot of these levels quite clearly. And here we are now. So we did kind of pick this as a level. Can we do that further to the downside? Sure. The sigh is because it's like, yeah, I can point it out, but man, I hope it doesn't happen. Like, look, so blow this up. Basically, what are we doing? We're just trying to connect tops and bottoms that will prove support and resistance levels. And this is pretty clear, bottoms, tops, bottoms, same in through here. So just like all these levels kind of came back and got checked, and what's happening here is that current price, as it's moving around, is finding all of that past price one little bit at a time. That's what's going on here. So is this level possible? Sure. This level sounded bat you know what crazy last Tuesday and Thursday, but we hit it. Or this 100,009, we hit it. So right there. So no, it's not nuts. This is just price moving between these levels. And sometimes it moves quicker than other times because it falls into gaps and things like that, both up and down. So when I look at a chart, I don't analyze it with I like or dislike Bitcoin. It's just the chart, right? It's just price action on the chart. And my job is to monetize it. And here you can see the ebb and flow of price action, right? Get a nice buy signal, you get all that divergence, price runs up. Well, all that divergence comes to an end. Well, there you go. You can cut your trade. And everything in between is yours. Sideways stuff, you may or may not take this. But here's a beautiful example. You get all that momentum, takes price higher real quick. And again, just rewind, play. Any asset, any time frame, any market. That's the beauty of it, is that you can use it on anything. This is the daily chart of BNB. And, this is looking, just going to close this panel. You can see this pattern here forming. That's kind of that M pattern. Right, there's the big candle that from a couple weeks ago. But let's look what happened here. Where do you close? Right, just above the 20. Next candle opens at the 20. Big impulse candle up. Now you've got people looking at this daily chart are going to be going, that's a double top, that's a double top. There's a lot going on here. These dojis are obviously 9 times out of 10 reversal candles, right? So that's a doji at the top of a bull run, often a reversal candle. Here you have the upper value range of the volume profile. So you know that's a level of resistance. So now you've come back to revisit it. Do we have any clue on what the market may want to do? Yeah, we do. Notice how the divergence kicks down on this candle? Kind of creates a point, which is telling us there's momentum there. Back to the 20. Notice how the divergence is starting to take shape, right? Is this just a reversal, a little retrace, or is it a trend move? Well, there's my entry candle, my confirmation that closes below a major moving average. And I can see that divergence starting to take place even more intense. The wick of this candle, what did it do? It tested the T line and pulled back. That's not a bullish signal. There's your following daily candle. So what happened? We broke one level, we found the next, the 50. Right? Are we still trading below the T line and the 5 EMA? Yeah. Attempt at the 5 that fails. That's going nowhere. Same kind of thing. This divergence is still holding. Back to the 50. Does this start to look like a failed breakout? Yeah. And when you have these failed breakouts, what do? You roll over and take out the previous wave's low. And that's what you did. Now we're going to rinse and repeat all over again. We've seen a candle like this on our oil chart, except it appeared at the 200 MA. first touch, failure. Yes, it printed a signal. Not all of them are going to give you 20 candles of profit. Reversal back to the 50. What happens when you fail the 50 and you fall through the ice? That's an ice hole failure. And it's hard to really get yourself above the ice again. This turned out to be, like, I love stuff like this. Like, I love price action off the 50. So what's really interesting about this setup is that here your signal comes at a failure of a major moving average. Yeah, you go sideways for a little while. But we often know, or we've seen with this system, that we go sideways, our price gets back to the T line, 5 EMA, boom, and then you get the continuation to the downside, which is what we got here. Is this still bearish? Yes. This is a green candle, but has it broken the lower value range? No. Has it even attempted to try and get past the T line and the 5 EMA? No. And until it does, it's still a bearish chart. Now,
gotta respect it.
You could also have a little bit of first mouse, second mouse thing going on here. So you the pullback, the retrace higher that fails the 20, right? Mm-hmm. So this one fails the 50. Mm-hmm. You could get a similar retest that maybe tests the T line or the 5 EMA, printing you maybe 2 or 3 green candles and then fail. And ultimately that's just a retrace higher that fails. And then you fall into this gap here as the second mouse. And that's how you find the 200.
For sure. And then the horse is all the way back at the barn. Yeah. Glenn, I want to do a giveaway for this community before we go on to the next ticker.
Sure,
we got 1,100 people live. So we've been live for an hour. I want to give them something, because if not, they might leave us. I don't know. I don't think they're here just for our good looks, So I want to give them something. We're paying them to learn, but it's something that's important for the space. I know there's a lot of projects coming up. I want you guys to stay tapped in. On Wednesdays, I do technical analysis. I see the Breck community. I see that new project. Like, you guys pull up every single day. Like, I show big or small community. It doesn't matter. If you guys have a community that comes into the chat and you guys go crazy and you guys rate, like, I pull up your guys' chart. We got, the Oliver community, we got the Fed community, we got the OG Breck community. Who else we got up in here? It's like we got that chicken community that was in here. What was the other one? That pump mind virus. I like that pump mind virus. That sounds cool. And so I want you guys to, I know we're doing a lot of TA on Wednesday, which is really good for you guys. We got Thierry as well. That's another one. Welcome in, Thierry. I saw you guys reposted as well. I appreciate that. But also pull up on all the other days. The streams have been super lit. And that's not thanks to me or Blunt or anything like that. That's thanks to you guys reposting it. We'll do our song and dance. You guys keep bringing everybody so we can show them, how to do some TA. I can show you guys how to catch some meme coins for the low. I can show you guys how to find XPX, a real world utility token that you guys can use the tools today, and help you navigate the space, right? We're not financial advisors. We're not none of that, or yada, yada, the cliche that we talk about in the space. Look, do as you're growing, right? So over here, we're going to put a hashtag. And because we got Blunt today, I think it's only fitting to have hashtag Blunt on this one, okay? We're just hashtag Blunt on this one. We might even get a whole project trending. There's probably like a project called Blunt or something out there. They're gonna be like, why are so many people trending this right now? Well, you know what? Surprise, surprise. It was us. Hashtag Blunt in the chat right now. If you guys are listening on X, there's 1,108 people in here. So come over here, get lit, fam. And engage. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time so we can get these numbers up. I'm not going to spin the wheel right away. If you guys are listening over on X, if you put hashtag, I'm seeing in the chat, some people are posting it. You want to come over to YouTube, the StreamYard tool, this giveaway tool only registers the hashtag. 1 second. Oh, well. There goes a bit of my coffee. But the tickers only pick up on this side over here. So make sure that you guys get tapped in over here. Okay, cool. I appreciate it, Blunt. Yeah, we'll do that as well. So we're gonna do something cool. I'm even gonna mention it right now. I'm not gonna even make you guys wait to mention it, so you guys can get more people in here, which I think is crazy bullish. And then I'm gonna hand the mic back over to Blunt so he can cover for me while I turn the camera off for a second. Right? He's gonna manage the channel because I smell like a French vanilla bean right now. But this is a live show, man. What do you guys want me to do? Pretend or something like that? Like things happen, right? So we got hashtag Blunt right now. You guys come over here. And then this is something that's cool. On the next giveaway that we're going to do, what we're going to do, which is wild because it's this exact tool that we're talking about. So when I said free crypto, bam, free crypto, BNB, you guys can get into the XP. As a matter of fact, let's do a little XPX show right now. Why not? That BNB, you guys can buy me a new vanilla bean coffee if you guys choose to do so, because half of it's gone, or get into this 5K giveaway. I think it'd be a lot better, right? I'll get myself another coffee. No big deal. But get over here and get yourself an entry, right? And yes, my lap smells like coffee right now. So get yourself an entry right here and then get in for the 5K. And then at the next giveaway, what we're going to do is this. We're going to do the Blunt House script 30-day trial and error. You guys test it out. He's going to help you set it up. You guys can not only just hear us on these Wednesdays when we're streaming, but you guys can also tag along, right? Because if you win, you can actually use the same indicators that we're using on the live stream right now. This is the alpha that I've been trying to hand over to you guys because, man, you guys don't want to miss out on this. This is part of what I'm supposed to be doing for this channel. So I see we got a lot more people pulling up. We're almost at 11:15, which is nice. Get some more people up in here. Let's run it up a little bit more. Blunt, I'm going to have you share your screen for about 5 minutes as we run it up. Guys, if you guys are listening right now on X, I have to clean this up, okay, because it's ridiculous. So I'm going to pass this back over to Blunt. You guys are going to be epic and support Blunt like the best community that we are. Engage like crazy. Keep putting hashtag Blunt, and he's going to share his screen and show another ticker. And yeah, I smell amazing. All right.
They can't replicate that, Rico. We're going to show you here how the stuff that we're talking about continues to repeat time and time and time again. And for those of you that have known me for a while, one of the things that I always like to do is I'll set buy targets, as an example, in an absurd place. And I realize that that order may never get executed. But the reason that I do that is because on the odd, exceptional, strange, volatile day, when crazy things happen, those targets can sometimes get hit. And to give you an example of how current price will look for past, even if it just goes there for a minute or two, how that happens. So this is an XRP chart. It's the daily chart. And you have the 20, the 50, I believe the 200's on here. And I also have a long-term average, the 500 MA and the 1,000-day moving average. This is an example where I would tell you to put an order that sounds unreasonable at a level that looks unattainable. Because when volatility strikes and prices bouncing all over the place, albeit up or down, it is looking for those levels. Here's an example of XRP hitting that 1,000-day moving average and then instantly bouncing. So it came back to check that level. That might happen once a year, if that. But on the things that you're trading, it makes sense to do it, especially when you're familiar with the chart. Because I run these long-term averages all the time, I know it's there. And it's that once in a blue moon does it happen, but when it does, it's incredibly rewarding. And does it change anything on our chart? The fact that it hit it and bounced back up? Not really. It's still in a downtrend, right? So this is the day that everybody says, hey, you know what? Time to buy again. Well, the market hasn't told you that it's moving to the upside. The market is still telling you that it's bearish. None of these candles, so this is your impulse down, these candles are just going sideways, not being able to challenge the T line, which it wicks here, and the 5 EMA that it wicks here. Divergence still in place, and what happens? Price falls again because the trend was never broken. So it was all you had was a snapback and 3 irrelevant green candles. It didn't change trend. If we take all of this off, do you know there's a candle that wicks this level? No. Because all you know is that this just looks like a pretty organized move to the downside. And you can tell with the divergence that there's momentum to it. Like you don't get any sort of reversal on that until the 25th of October. A lot of these candles, it's just drama, right? Once I'm on the right side of the trade, I don't need to fry my brain every 5 minutes or every other candle or whatever it happens to be, wondering if I need to close my trade. Oh no, 3 green candles. Oh no, 2 green candles. So what? So what? They're just green candles in a downtrend. Failed breakout, take out the previous wave's low. Are we still in a downtrend? Yeah. Until we're not. Which comes in here. Just follow along. And it's never wrong to take your profit. It's never wrong to take your profit.
Or to cut your losses, but
well, exactly, or to cut your losses. And here's just I'm gonna just take a little bit of this off for a second. So what's different about this move here? So here you have what looks like a failed breakout, right? Did you take out the previous wave's low? No. And that's important because it had other things in mind. So this breakout here looks like a fail, right? But it doesn't pull back to take out this level. It starts going the other way. And you can start to see that, hey, there was some reasonable trade in there. It rolls over again, and here you are. So you're still under a sell signal. That was flat trading, impulse down, and now you're coming back to these levels, but unable to break them. And as long as that's the case, it's still a bearish interpretation, right? If it was really bullish, they'd be challenging these levels and pushing above and starting to give you a very different look. And we're not quite there yet. Again, this is a level that we identified last week on XRP. That was a potential pullback area. Well, we hit it. We struck through it actually 2 days in a row. So it's not pin the tail on the donkey. It's get you close so that you can get in and out of the trade. And as all that was happening is that price was looking for past price. This level here connects tops and bottoms that form support and resistance. These levels are areas that price will be drawn to, in my experience. And this appears on every chart we look at. Doesn't matter what the symbol is.
No, it does not.
The same stuff just keeps occurring over and over and over again.
Because it works on us, so they're gonna keep doing it, right? They're like, oh man, the majority of people don't got this blunt house indicator. Yeah. Let's keep doing this, right? It works. Yeah. But Blunt, I want to pull the winner because we got quite a bit of entries, and now now it smells like Fabuloso next to me because I just have to clean up really fast. That was perfect. That was my second cup of coffee, so I'm all like, man, I had my first one, it was just a tall one, but I got this one, it was like a deal and stuff. I was like, all right, I'll try this vanilla bean. I was like, wow,
Ode to Juan Valdez,
man, and it was good. It was what'd you say?
Ode to Juan Valdez. He was the Juan Valdez was the coffee character that was created by Colombia, right? He was this coffee farmer, Juan Valdez. You don't remember that? Oh my
No,
God, I just dated myself.
Yeah. You carbon dated yourself. No,
I just did, literally. Yeah. I black and white TV'd myself, I think.
Okay, let me share the screen for you guys. We got a lot of people pulling up. You guys are at the community is amazing. If you guys can get the likes up also on the YouTube channel, we're working the YouTube channel. It's a pain over there, man. I saw even other big YouTube channels that have been doing this crypto thing, if not as long as I have, if not even longer, and even they struggle. And it's, where they're like, we're not getting that many new users. What we have to do, I know we get comfortable and we pull up. You still got to do some of that stuff that you did right from the beginning. So engaging all the time, maybe reposting the link on your TikTok or something on your Facebook or something. That cross-pollination, the algorithms pick up that somebody's willing to share the link from a YouTube channel onto a TikTok, or a link from a TikTok onto an X account, right? When those links get transferred over and they get pollinated like that, the algorithm can sniff that out. So if you guys can completely engage with this, I see we got Lisa up in here, the Thierry community. If you guys can repost this on X, our numbers have been fantastic, not because of me, not because of Blunt, but really because of you guys. And like I said, I will keep doing this. So will Blunt. We'll keep doing our song and dance for you guys. But if you guys can meet us halfway, we can both get all of our goals done, what we really want to accomplish in this crypto space, which is staying safe in the space, being able to make some gains, monetizing the chart, while not getting completely wrecked and having to tuck tail and pack it up and go somewhere else, right? So here we go right here. So we're going to pull this one. This is for a BNB giveaway, which, like I said, XPX has a 5K giveaway. This is the easiest way to get into that 5K, and XPX's price is already picking back up because BNB starts to go up and we go up with it automatically because we got so much BNB and asset backing, which is like 59 BNB, getting close to 60 BNB. But yeah, 169 people. Let's pull this one. Bam. If I win, I'll double it, okay? Because I like to enter too. You got to buy a ticket in order to win. But if I win, just for the sake of, because I like to win, okay. Occupy Mars 79. Okay, cool. Occupy Mars, I think you've been inside of our TG. I don't think I've seen you in a while, but I almost think I even might have a DM from you. But Occupy Mars 79, if it's very important that you do this, repost your @ handle for Telegram, or there's going to be Occupy Mars 79 and a half, Occupy Mars 80, Occupy Mars 81, and they're going to try to get that BNB, which you guys can also come over here and support XPX. This is the project I launched with an epic team and even more amazing community that we have around this project. We've been live for over 16 months, really bringing real world utility, and a project that, a lot of projects after that wipeout, a lot of people after that wipeout that just happened, they're long gone. This project is still standing here very strong and still building. The next round of utility that we're going to be releasing is going to be massive. And I think even somebody like Blunt is going to really, really like, oh, Dust of Dooms. Exactly. Yeah. I thought so. All right. So the next round of utility for XPX is going to be massive. So I really think that this is going to be a great entry for you guys. Obviously not financial advice. I know the markets are volatile, but not only is it a great entry at this market cap, we have the 5K giveaway at $2 million market cap, which is not far away, but our marketing machine is still on. We got, a venue coming up November 20th, which we have our own booth there. I just got confirmation that our merch that we sent from our own merch shop is landing there, so we can give away some swag and really get the word out there. So even with the biggest historical wipeout in the world that ever happened in crypto, even with Bitcoin going underneath 100K yesterday, we're still doing what we have to do for this project because we know that this is a gem right here. All roads leads to payments, whether you're making it in meme coins, whether you're making it in NFTs, whether you're trading futures nonstop and you want to be able to off-ramp your crypto, all roads lead to payment. Because if you're going to be financially free, you better be free to spend. You better be able to be free to spend your finances. So I'm going to share this link right here where you guys can learn more. And get ready. Like I said, there's a massive utility drop around the corner. I know you guys might be like, oh, well, how can it be? You guys already got all these utilities, staking, lending, MasterCards, non-KYC bill payments, non-KYC gift cards, virtual cards on your phone. But I promise you there's more to come. Payments is a long road, and we're going to make sure that, we check all the stops along the way. So xpxpay.com. X marks the spot right there. Let's go back over. We're going to do another giveaway, so don't get discouraged. Dust of Doom, send me a DM again. The next giveaway, which is crazy bullish, and I see the Thierry community here. You guys are super strong right now. Shout out to the Thierry community. We got the first Brett on ETH. You guys are going, crazy right now, and you guys should. We're knocking it out the park with the stream. We're almost creeping up on 1,200 people. So shout out to you guys. The next giveaway, which I think is a very powerful giveaway. You guys see how I don't never push anything on you guys. Do I got something that I be telling you guys? I got my own Telegram group. I don't tell you guys got to jump through a hoop, do this, that, and the third to go. No, there's a reason why I keep telling you guys about this. Okay, so the next giveaway is going to be the Blunt House indicator itself for a 30-day trial. I want you guys to use that. I want you to lock in for 30 days. Don't argue with nobody. Don't go out drinking. Don't do nothing. Just soak in all that information for 30 days, because somebody's going to win something that's pretty impressive and something that's really been helping me, navigate the crypto market. Even if you're a novice or if you want to consider yourself an expert, I think we're always learning. I don't think we master anything completely. I'd rather just stay being the student. But you guys can get in where you fit in with this indicator and really use it to its full potential. So I'm going to bring Blunt back up. We'll bring up another ticker. And like I said, this indicator that we're currently using, we're currently talking about, is going to be this stream right now. It's going to happen. Okay. We're going to do it again. We're going to check out a couple more tickers. I'm going to squeeze Blunt for some more of that wisdom. Okay. I'm not doing this for you guys. I'm not whatever. I'm going to squeeze this guy for some more wisdom. And then, we'll run another giveaway. So stay active, fam. Keep your community in here. When you see numbers like this rolling over to 1,200 viewers, your whole Telegram group should be in this space on X and YouTube, engaging. Not for me and Blunt, because we need your guys's, hey, you guys are, no, for your guys's bag, so people can see hashtag, Brett, hashtag Feg Token, hashtag Space Penguins, hashtag XPX, because the most vibrant community is probably going to get a lot of attention. So I'm going to stop ranting so we can squeeze this man for some more wisdom. And let's go ahead and bring this down first, and then we'll bring your page back up.
Sure. Okay, so this is, the darling that everyone wants to talk about, NVIDIA, and a tremendous amount of money is, in the same usual suspects, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, handful of others. And boy, if all of that stuff was to retrace at the same time, I think the sucking sound would be quite noticeable. What we see on this chart is this long extended bull run, a little bit of sideways price action through here, and then it continued again. And I'm trying to show as much of this as I can, because I want you to be able to see the volume profile and how this is that kind of gray section that indicates light trading, as opposed to the highest density down here. Again, this is the upper value range, lower value range, and then point of control, all of which we know are draws for price. So if we're watching NVIDIA's price action, of course, we understand that this is the upper value in POC down here. We know that already. We can see that there is something going on up here. Like, I don't like that. I don't think many people would like that candle structure up here. I don't like it at all. But what are we more inclined to watch, at least for myself, is if this is a signal that something's up, then there kind of is. You gap down here and all of a sudden you haven't broken trend yet, but you're pretty darn close. But the reality is, where does price go? That's really what we have to try and determine. Do we have a change in trend? And if we do, where does it go? Where's our support and where's our resistance? And is all we're going to do is the same thing that we did before. We're just going to start to add a little bit of context to the chart. I'm just going to start by adding on the 20, the 50, and the 200. So this retrace here, we're looking to see what happens when it gets to the 20 MA. Does it bounce? Does it fail? If it fails, where does it go? Well, if it fails, we know it's going to test the 50. Fail one level, find the next. But if you fail the 50 and you start getting into this gap that's in light trading. This is a volume shelf, but there's not much to it because it's already identified as being light volume. You might get some support along this level, which makes sense. This is a shelf. But if you fall off the shelf into the gap, well, the point of control or the upper value range and the 200 MA on the daily are waiting for you. So basically, it's a $50 haircut to get there. And if you look at this on the weekly, it gives you an idea of how hot this thing's been trading. Because even on the weekly, 178 is the first touch of the 20 MA, which you're more inclined to get some support from. Mm-hmm. But I find it ironic that the 50 MA on the weekly at 148 is in the same neighborhood as the 200, almost to the dollar. So why is that important to me? Well, because I believe in fractals and I'm kind of watching everything on a time frame to see if I can pick up these changes in momentum or just reversals. Because I believe in fractals, I know that if I fail one level and I find the next, that the 50 is a likely candidate. On this time frame is 148.81. Time and price will come together. All that'll move a little bit, but at least today, that's where it is. And when I flip to the daily, that same level is the 200. And I'm basically starting to say to myself, well, hey, what is the likelihood or the probability on the daily of this softening? What else can we measure? Well, this is a stochastic RSI, the upper band, this upper horizontal section here. And this is just straight out of the box. You click it on the indicators in TradingView and it pops up. This is a Fisher transform. I'll explain this in a minute. And that's a MACD. So if you're going to go short, you're looking for price that's overextended away from levels that it likes to gravitate to. You'll see here the stochastic RSI is overbought, and it can stay overbought for a long time. But what's unique about this is that it's arcing right away from a very overbought level, which is what you're picking up here in the reduction in price. The Fisher transform, so we talk about filters, right? I trade off of fibs, Fibonacci's, fractals, and filters. And the Fisher transform is a great indicator that helps me with trend. And why I like it is because it uses a Gaussian channel to filter out, and that's just basically mathematics, to filter out all the noise that gives us these fake signals all the time. And the Fisher is very reliable for trend. Like, it doesn't give you chop, chop, chop in overbought and oversold areas. It does express pretty clean trend moves. And I just use it in conjunction with the other two. So usually the stochastic RSI goes first, which is why it's on the top, then followed by the Fisher, and then followed by the MACD. But what I'd be looking for here, I'm not currently trading this, but I'd like to see what happens when we get to the 20. So I'd be short to the 20. If it looks like it's going to bounce, well, it was nice to be there for a while. You made money. If it fails and you're short, you could really make some money. And this is the risk that's in the market right now, right? All of the money being in the same places. And if it all came out at the same time, everybody would have a hard time finding the exit. So, here's a weekly NVIDIA chart. Look how bullish this is, right? Still no touch of the 20 yet, but you got to trade what's in front of you, right? Like right now, as I'm talking, are we analyzing the state of NVIDIA? No, is all I'm saying is this is a bullish chart, and this weekly chart is still bullish, right? Big red candle, yes, but it's still above the areas that we consider instrumental for trend and support. When you look at it on the monthly, it looks even scarier. Like just these big momentous moves. But this here, what was this on the monthly chart? A very clean retrace that caught support at the 20 and price kicked higher. Oh, is it a double top or we double? This is the conversation that everyone's having right here. Oh, we double topped NVIDIA on the monthly chart. No, you didn't. It was just a retrace. Calm down.
It's crazy.
Right? It was just, this is every time someone sees this on Twitter, they lose their minds. Right? Well, 9 times out of 10, quite often they're just retraces. And of course, it does what? It moves on, bounces, takes out the previous wave's high, and then creates the next level. So even this chart's super bullish, but the takeaway is that when the retrace comes, and it does come, all of these levels that seem really far away, they're really far away because price went up really, really fast. And that fans them out and extends their distance between these levels. But price doesn't care. When it's time to come back and check these levels, it's time to come back and check the levels. And if you don't do it throughout the wave with some order, chances are you're more inclined to do it quickly all at once. And I'll give you an example. Where are we? Here we go. Gold. You know, the gold daily chart has been nothing but bullish. You can see the support it got off the 200 way down here back in early 22, 23, and just continues to move higher. Now, does it seem choppy at times? Sure. But is it trending higher? Yeah. How do you take the chop out? Well, just extend the time frame and it'll give you a cleaner look. The gold chart has gone from, 2000 and change, and now you're, just under 4,000. But did you get any retrace in here at all? No, like you only had 2 consecutive days of red candles. Right from August, up until up in here in October. You only had 2 days of consecutive red candles. The thing's gone nowhere but up. So no retrace at all in the move, but it's coming all at once, right? Instead of finding nice, smooth moves off the 20 like this, it was really far away from the barn, right? The horse was far away from the barn and it came back in a hurry. And, note, this was your impulse down at the top. I want to show you the point. Pay attention to these because you're going to see them on all the time frames that you trade. But the longer the time frame, when you see it, the more intense and meaningful the move is. So what makes that point happen is the momentum in price down. It grabs that shorter term average and yanks it and pulls it down. And if it has enough momentum, either in the immediate candle or those that follow, it can continue to pull it down until it produces the sell signal that you need to have a safe entry short. This was just the insurance. And, where did price come back to? I think it wants the 50, right? This is still a bearish chart. Even though you had a green candle here that everyone thought was going to end this. Oh, it's basing. But no, the trend was telling us, or the chart was, that it's still down, right? On the weekly, it hasn't even come back to the 20 yet. It's literally hugging the T line.
Yeah.
Like, this is why when, if I hear a news report and they say, oh, the Dow closed 200 up, that means nothing to me until I see it on the chart, because I need to understand, well, it was 200 up, but it failed to 50 and couldn't close above it? Because that's a whole different story to me, right? Like, as in, oh, the Dow was up 200. Well,
yeah, good for you guys.
Right? It was up 200, but failed the level. So it has a different meaning. So I have to see it on a chart. for it to make any sense at all. But the gold chart on the weekly, I think it's trying to find the 50, but look at the base it's created. So we'll see. Still bearish though. If it gets into this volume gap, what do you think happens? It'll pop right up and test the 20 or blow through it and start heading up to the upper value range. But it doesn't matter what we're trading, whether it be a commodity or a stock. It just doesn't matter. And, you know, we talked about long-term averages, and what does that tell you? Well, they're representations of time, right? And they kind of represent where buyers and sellers have been before. They're just longer representations of price along those levels. The pink is 500, amber is 1,000. You know, you can see how price was respecting that level. You know, whoops, where was it? A second, sorry. All through, even through here. This was after that big dump where oil went negative. Well, where did it kind of pause for a while before it really made its move? 1,000 days. Where did it get support and support and support? 1,000 days. And, you know, Rico knows me a little bit. He's been around. I've known him for a while now. And this 1,000 days is how many years on a chart? Well, depending on the chart you're looking at, either a weekly or a monthly, it can be anywhere between 40 and 80 some odd years or something like that. So that's a long time. And if you fail this level as support and then can't break it to the upside, what does that tell you? Does that tell you maybe there's a bigger problem? If 40 some odd years of price history tells you to take a walk, yeah, that means something. Current price revisits past, no matter what we believe, what we think, what we're told. And I'm going to use this oil example. Rico's probably tired of seeing it, but it's really relevant.
No, you're good. You know what? You and my brothers got me. I'm so crypto oriented, but you know, I almost been feeling like been wanting to trade a couple of that stuff because I feel like the charts move a lot smoother. It's like if I can handle this, you know, what feels like a war zone on crypto, it's like I could trade that Tesla stock. That doesn't look bad at all. You know, this stuff moves a little bit smoother.
Yeah. And so what I've just done here is I've blown up this weekly chart. And again, you can see the 500 and you can see 1,000 days here and how prices actually tested those levels. The reason I'm showing this is I'm going back to September of 23. And, you know, it was a weekend, I believe, and listening to an X-Base, and oil was trading in the 90s. And of course, looking at this chart, the conversation or narrative was obviously, well, it's going to be 100 next week. And then after that, you know, it's nowhere but up 150. It can't be long before we see 175. You know the drill. And I'm just a chart guy. Like, I just look at charts. I'm not interested in what somebody thinks about why oil is going to be $100. I'm not interested in the analysts' narrative on storage and tankers and production and OPEC. Learn how to read a chart. You'll find that much more helpful. So all of that stuff is just BS noise to me. That's the noise. The only thing that matters is price on a chart. So someone says, hey, oil's going to be $100 next week. I'm going to look at the chart because that's what I do. And I look at this daily chart and I go, well, what do we do? We use fractals. So let's stretch out our time frame. So let's get on the weekly. And that's what we're looking at. That was the weekly candle. Same chart, just a different time frame. So if you look at this chart and you see this big leg up, and then you see a doji out like that on the weekly with the big point that's forming like we just talked about, is that a candle that makes you feel price is going higher? No, it's not. Not to me. is all I see is a doji that's a sign of typically a reversal. The point in the short-term averages, which is telling me that's money coming out, drawing that level down, and I can see it go from white to reds. So that's the sucking sound of money. All right. So if in fact this is a top, what do we look at? We look at, if we break one level, where do we go next? So looking at the weekly, I can see the 20 and the 50 just under $80 right down here. Well, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, geez, if you were to break that, look at all the attempts you've had of support, right, from the 1,000-day. What would happen if you didn't break it, or if you didn't hold? That would be a problem. What would that look like? Where would price go? Well, you just start turning the chart back and looking to the left. And I'm looking for areas that, okay, if I broke these levels, where's the support? Well, looking at the chart, I can see, okay, I'm trading above everything. If I break it, there's the last line of defense on the weekly. From there, I'm looking to the left and I'm going, okay, where's the past price? Remember we talked about these kind of candles here with the two equal bottoms that line up with areas of support and resistance from the past, regardless of how far it's been. Look at it all. What is that number? That number is 6166. So I'm the kid at the back of the class who raises my hand after the bully says it's going to 120. That says the bully's an idiot, and it's probably going to 70 before it's 100, with the target of being 6166. I'm the crazy person, though. Remember that, right? That's why the chart doesn't lie, right? Current price looks for past. If you don't get support, you're looking for the next level down. And if you don't get support from there, you're looking for the next level down. And when all your averages fail, what are you looking for? Benches of past price, areas of support and resistance, where they align. So how did it unfold? Well, you came back to the 20 and the 50 like we showed, right? That was that target there, because you know you're coming back there, but you don't hold. And then look what happens. You get your sell signal. Divergence to the downside. So we're in that mode of breaking one level and finding the next. And that's going to continue until the chart tells us it's done. Look at the momentum down here. Going from 90 and change, 95, in a matter of a month and a half. And where did you go? Hey, there's the 1,000-day MA. Why? Because I've been there before. And because nothing could give me support anywhere, I came back to where I've been in the past, where buyers and sellers have shaken hands. Right? Now, if you know anybody that wants to trade oil or does trade oil, they can't find a reason not to buy it. Right? It's all they can do not to buy oil at any given time. Just give them the slightest reason. Right? Well, here's a buy signal. Now, nothing goes straight up and nothing goes straight down. This is the ebb and flow, the in and out, the inhale and exhale of the market. So we've had our big move down, but we're not done. Nothing's going to go straight to the bottom. We find support at a logical place. You get a buy signal. And I remember that candle, that weekly candle, everybody thought the end was, we're on to shinier days again. Followed up by that. Why? Was that the first attempt of that resistance? Yes. And the market said, no, thank you. And where did it go? Right back to the 1,000 MA. So you can see how critical that level is. Here you go again, right? Now, this is a trend move. This is this is where you can be long oil, right? But don't build a 20-year portfolio around it. Now, what do we have here? Does this look unfamiliar to this? Not really, right? Move down, retrace to the upside, printing a doji again. All of this history looks like it's repeating itself. It does. The difference is, though, we can add a lower high. So here's our top. Now we have an opportunity. We've made a lower high. So the first thing I'm going to do, whether it is relevant moving forward or not, is just draw a simple trend line there, just as another element of measure for me to kind of track and trap in price. So there's your next weekly candle. Feels like history is repeating itself all over again, right? Notice the divergence between those two levels as it holds. Price continues to fall. These are just green candles in a downtrend. And what did you find? 1,000 days yet again. Kind of a pattern, right? Here we go. What did we just do? We just made a lower high on a weekly chart. Usual suspect shows up, right? And what are we doing? Breaking one level, and we're finding the next. And where do we go again? 1,000 days. And all the time you're telling people, you break that level, like in a meaningful way, you got a problem. Like a problem that in the market that I can't explain. I don't really care. That's not my job. My job is just to monetize this chart up and down. It's not to have an opinion on oil or how much oil's in the ground or in a tank or who has more, who has less, or how much you're going to use. I don't give a shit, right? It's just about price. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now you got a problem. Because now you've just put a stake in the ground below that 1,000 day. And here you go all over again. Oh, look, remember we talked about there's a candle that I was going to show you on oil. This is about as close to a gravestone doji as you're going to get. Super skinny wick with just a little line as a base. Right? This one has a touch of a wick to the bottom, but that's about as close as you're going to see. And that appears where? Right at the 200 weekly. So is the 200 weekly our basic bull bear indicator? Yep. And what did we just fail with a gravestone? The 200. But hey, I don't know anything. I'm just a guy. There you go. What happened? Current price revisited past. In the event of a breakdown or a trend move down like this is, current price is constantly looking for past in the direction of the trend. Now, was that just a one-off? Maybe that was a fluke. Like maybe, maybe it's not a relevant number. Look how many times price has danced in, around, and through it. And there you are today. And what does this look like? What did we show you today what a failed breakout looks like? Like this. Looking for previous waves lows. But we haven't really answered the question, where do we go from here? Well, that's because we haven't done or completed our fractal analysis. So let's go to the monthly. Here's the monthly chart. Exact same chart, exact same trend line, exact same averages, just obviously fractal with time. Does this look like a failed breakout on a monthly? Yep. What's it looking to do? Take out the previous wave's low. What's the only thing it hasn't tagged yet? 500 days monthly. And I believe that's what it's looking for as its next step. You break this, it's going to want that. Well, that's a fluke. Oh, is it? It hit it here several times, hit it here several times, and back here. It's not a new thing. So it just gives you an idea of on every time frame. Like if this isn't confluence, going from that daily oil chart showing you how it rolls into the weekly and then the monthly, I don't know what does. Right? And this would be my target until the market proves me that it has something else in mind. And yeah, it takes a lot of time for this to materialize, certainly over a monthly. And that's probably the hard part for everybody, is that the time it takes for these things to materialize on a chart can feel like forever. But really, look, you've had this divergence to the downside between your T line in 5 EMA for ages, and it's still there. And as long as, we're having that in place, we're still trending down. So we'll see what happens if we do take out this low. And from there, if price continues to look for this. This level sounded absolutely bonkers on the daily chart, right? Way back here. And this is the thing that's amazing about the market, is that things can sound impossible or implausible, but they somehow can find a way to happen. And this isn't anything, this is not a story against oil. It's just a story of how to track price, right? And it's actually a really good case study because it allows you to show over multiple time frames that when you're in a trend move to the downside or a breakdown, how price can react.
Blunt, I want to bring up a ticker really quick, if you don't mind,
sure.
If you're done with oil. And this is just, and we're going to be doing, like I said, guys, keep engaging, because we must got X by, you know what, and we're getting everybody's attention. We got over 1,200, and it's creeping up probably to 1,300. So I really appreciate you guys. We're going to be doing this indicator giveaway. Let me share my screen really quick, because like I said, I'm not predicting price. I was tracking price, but I want to show you guys, because it's easy for people in spaces to say this, that, and the third, because nobody can go back. What are they going to do? Go back and listen to a 3-hour space and try to find out where was the minute mark that they were talking about, the thing that they were talking about? Like, it's never going to happen. So people are just throwing freaking numbers, because nobody's going to go back and listen to, or let alone some of those mega spaces that they're 4 hours, 5 hours long. What are you gonna do? You're gonna decipher a 4 hour, all that circle jerk that's in between all that stuff and everything like that, right? And then try to find it. So they get away with all this stuff. But I'm showing you guys something right now, and this is with having a project on BNB, right? I have a project on BNB. We have X pays X. We got the gorillas in the chat. We got all of Smart DeFi on the Binance Smart Chain, and even with all that, on the daily chart, I told you guys that we would see this. I'm not in a space where you guys, it would be impossible. Go check the last live streams. Go back. I talk about these main tickers in the beginning of the streams all the time. Go back to BNB. And this is somebody who's bullish on BNB. And this is where we start to have this conversation of this daily chart breaking through this 50 moving average and finding the next level. And the reason I want to bring BNB up, one, because let's cover it, because we've been covering it during this low kind of choppy zone. Like you have the first pullback that wiped everybody out. Then it recovered, hit a new all-time high. And then you get this, everybody kind of starting to accept the reality of things, right? And then we get this choppy zone right here where it starts trading sideways, which I don't like, because we trade the breakouts and the breakdowns. When I saw this right here and the way the market was going, and I saw this 200 super far away, and this is why I love this package. This indicator is really a package. This is a package deal, because you have all these moving averages that you can use. But look at how this 200 moving average, if it keeps moving, it's like, okay, that was probably one of the worst lines I drew, but it's never going to be picture perfect. But it's trailing to get into this upper valley range. And if you didn't have this, let's say you got just a regular version of your indicators on TradingView or whatnot, you wouldn't be able to start to correlate these things together, right? Because I'm not surprised. And this is what I told you guys. I would not be surprised if I saw it break through the 50. It wouldn't be hard to convince me that we most likely would come to the lower valley range. And what we do, we just zoomed out. Why? Because we have previous price right there. And I also told you guys that if we broke this level, I would not be shocked if we came down to the 200. And I warned everybody, so not flooding nobody's bag. We're not flooding. We want you guys, if possible, not financially advising you to or any of that stuff, but to monetize it, or to say, you know what, I'm taking a step back. This is not my condition that I want to rock with. I'm going to go, pull the boat out, put it on the lake, and we're having a family weekend or something like that. I'm going to take some time away, right? But this is why we do this on a regular basis, because even somebody who's bullish on the market, I love BNB and all this, I'm not shocked that, after this top and all this noise, and then we're starting, we're trending down basically, and then we start trending, we're chopping right here. And when I saw this sell signal right by the 50, I said, if you want to experiment with your shorts, I mean, here you go. Because a signal like this right on top of that 50 like that, it's really powerful when it's like you see that momentum is breaking through, and we've already lost a lot of that steam. The market, the euphoria is kind of gone. I was like, yo, we could possibly see some of these prices. And I even warned you guys of some lower prices, not because I'm trying to FUD the market or anything, but because I have to just say what I see. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, I'm calling it a duck. Right. And here we go. We got this thing quacking along over here. And I said, hey, will we be shocked if we saw it trade into this gap right where this, where this thing could possibly meet, right? It's trailing right here. Fire Chicken, he says he's back for more. Yeah, we're putting in overtime, man. We got a solid stream. Fire Chicken, get your community in here because we're gonna be doing a giveaway in just a bit. We're just over the 2-hour mark. I do want to keep you guys wanting more. We're gonna look up a couple more tickers. I'll squeeze Blunt for a little bit more time if that's all right. And then but I wanted to cover BNB because of this right here. And this is somebody with a project on BNB. I love BNB. I was telling everybody buy it, but you have to keep it real with yourself, and you don't want to be married to it, right? Because you can love it so much where you're like, that's it. It's going to the moon. That's it. Don't tell me nothing. It's like, no, it's not. And something that Blunt says that, boy, did I learn it over these last couple of weeks. It doesn't have to do anything that you think it has to do. Oh, it's going to have to. There's no way. If you start sounding like that, if you catch yourself sounding like that, you better believe there's a way. Okay. There's a way if it breaks through this ice right here and falls through this 50 moving average that it's going to find the next level. It doesn't know what you got going on. It doesn't know how much you're praying. It doesn't know you're on your knees begging away that it doesn't go lower. It doesn't know that. What it knows is that it's breaking this level and it's going to find the next level. And what's nice is the more you practice this, you know it too. And you can either short this right here or prepare for what could be on the daily chart. Maybe we hold on to this. Look at this 200 moving average. This is our tap right here. Maybe we hold on to it. But if we got underneath it, we got to be, we got to grow up and be like, okay, maybe we're going to see some more downside, right? Maybe we come a little bit lower. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that, hey, we broke the next level. We got to find the next. So this is an indicator I just wanted to cover on the stream because I didn't stream yesterday. And it was the day before yesterday, I think. And the day before that, even I was telling everybody, hey, it's looking like BNB is going to pull back. And here we go, finding the next level. It could be BNB, it could be NVIDIA, it could be oil, it could be called chitty chitty bang bang. If it starts to break the next level, it's going to find the next.
Yeah, and I can show you on the BNB chart.
Let me bring yours up.
Yeah, so again, we're using fibs like we talked about, fractals, the multiple time frames, and the filters, which we've talked about. This chart is a great example of where you could drop some Fibonacci's. So assuming up here that you're convinced that this is a top, right? Let's take that wick to that wick. Now, let's let this chart unfold. So you know what we're looking for, right? When we put fibs on our chart like this, and we're looking for retrace levels, we're looking for 50% in 618. So here we go. There's 50%. There's 618. Fibs, fractals, and filters. And this, what I just showed you here, you could pull on a 1-hour chart if you wanted, right? Same concept. So we identify this as a top. So we're going to take the swing high. So that's the swing low. That's the swing high. Some people don't use the wicks. I do. It's, minor thing. But again, we're going to get you close. There's the swing low. There's the swing high. We're instinctively looking for 50%, right? That would be a reasonable retrace. If it's shorter than 50%, then it's probably still a really bullish move, right? But no, you just keep failing, and it hit all the levels that you would expect it to hit. There's your 50, and you wick through 618 right in here. So now we see, what do these fibs do for us? They give us these levels of, where price may transition. Some people believe it's kind of a psychological level. Regardless, it doesn't really matter as long as it works, and this works. So as you see this thing unfold and start to roll over, everyone's, if you don't know how to sell short, you have to learn, because you need to be able to monetize the chart in both directions. But I mean, once you understand that that's your low and that's your high, and you drop fibs on, well, then you're looking like, where's this retracement going? There you hit the 50 and you bounce a little bit, but no trend change, right? So you're still going south. You come back to the 50 again, you break it, and now you're looking for the 200. And unfortunately, the 200 is sub 618. So we'll see if it finds it. But that's just another way that you find targets, right? You have to understand where price is most likely to go. What's the probability of price reaching particular levels, and being ready for it when it does. And again, this is just a handful of things that we use. We've taken all the complicated stuff out. Just want you to be able to follow price safely, regardless of the time frame you're trading. The only time you have troubles when you're in a trend move is if you're using too much leverage. So, for example, if you're in this move here to the upside and you get stopped out on one of these red candles or something like that, then you're using too much leverage. Like, you should be using enough to allow it to run without being problematic. So in other words, probably use less. But again, just a real nice example of how you can use fibs as an additional layer to what we're doing, right? Fibs, fractals, filters. Break one 100%. Level, find the next, current price, looking for past. And we've shown over and over again that it tends to find it. So there you go.
Sounds good, Blunt. Blunt, I think this was a good stream, keeping it around the 2-hour mark. Let's do this other giveaway for the community. And then maybe this is where we wrap it up, man. We got 1,255 people, which is crazy. And, a lot of people are going to be listening to this later on. They're going to be seeing, the Moon or Dust community in the chat. They're going to see, they're going to see the Breck community in the chat. They're going to see the XPX community in the chat. They're going to see, all these amazing communities. So, this is what it's really about. I saw the Thierry community pull up. I saw the Captain B&B community pull up. And that's really what it's all about. You guys are helping this space grow, where it motivates us. Honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you. It motivates us to put in that extra work. If I show you guys my YouTube revenue, you guys would be like, this guy's crazy. What the heck is he doing this for? Why is he even doing this? And it's because I love to do this. And I think that there's something special, like when we all share our knowledge. It's like the best way to get, like, as fast as we can cut more time, the learning curve, because no matter what, there's a learning curve, right? Like, sometimes people quit right away, but together we can kind of cut that learning curve a little bit and kind of get to that exponential growth right away if we rock with each other. So that's what this channel is here for, because that YouTube revenue is hilarious. So we got the Moon or Dust community. Let's do one more. I see the Moon or Dust people reposted. I really appreciate it. Like I said, so many reposts today from so many different projects. So all those projects reposting it, then all their communities checking out. We really knocked it out the park today, Blunt. I mean, this was a solid awesome stream. Yeah, this was a crazy stream. And, we did a B&B giveaway, which that person is going to be getting it later on. They can get into that 5K giveaway. And then this giveaway right here, let me share my screen. I didn't even notice I was talking over here, not sharing my screen. Let's do this other giveaway, and then we'll wrap it up, because I think, let's keep them wanting more a little bit, right? Let's keep them wanting more. So guys, I'm going to give you guys at least a couple more seconds. Okay. Just a little bit more time to come over here to YouTube. I want to see it flood one more time with hashtag Blunt House, and you guys can win right now. So let's go back.
I'll even help you set it up.
Yeah. And he'll also help you. So actually, if you guys were already, I just reset it. So we're going to have to do it again. So get your re-entries in. So everybody who entered and left, you guys are going to miss out. But if you're still listening in right now, hashtag Blunt, and it's starting off just like that. It's got 19 entries right now. I would not chance it to say, hey, that's my entry. I got my entry in. Hashtag Blunt. I'm even going to do it. Who knows? Maybe I'll start using the other side of my brain and put that brain at work.
It's a $99. It's $99 a month, and it'll pay for itself.
Oh, it will.
Super quick.
Really, the same day,
Yeah,
if you just
exactly.
the same day.
Yeah.
The same day, and he'll help you out. And you know what? And we're also, we look out for BYD5. I got this link right here, and I'll share Blunt's as well, his referral codes that you guys can go over there and support. But for BYD5, if you guys make an account and you guys DM me your UID number, I will load your account. You will get some bonuses. Okay, we could do like decent amounts. I've been squeezing BYD5 too. I'm just like, hey, Michael, what's up, bro? The people want some more funds in that, and hey, he makes it happen, right? So come over here, register, use that code right there, go through the motions, and if you send me your UID number, I mean, they got a ton of money. Why not make another account and just do it anyway so you figure it out? I'm not telling you to do that, but I just told you to do that, okay? I mean, get the practice in on BYD5's dollar, right? Okay, let's go to Blunt House's X account really quick. I'm gonna share this link as you guys are putting hashtag Blunt right now in the chat. Like, fam, I'm milking it right now for you guys that are listening over on X, so you guys can get a chance to enter, because I just erased all of them and they're re-entering right now. So hashtag Blunt. I see Profit Bear still in here from the Jesus Coin community. Man, that guy said he was here from the beginning 2 hours ago. Said I'm working and listening, and that's putting in overtime on the overtime. Some people can't even handle that, Blunt. They're just like, I just want to do it. That's it. He said, no, I'm going to work and I'm going to learn technical analysis with Blunt and Rico. Oh, man. And then let's do the website one more time. Just giving you guys some more time to get that in there. What's up, Blunt?
No, this has been great. And I hope you guys kind of got a taste anyways for what we're doing here. And we're really trying to make it easy for this part of the trading world to become engaged in markets without being a victim. And I think that, for people in this space, there's not a lot of serious help, right? Like for people that are trying to learn how to read price on a chart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. So we got Blunt House cooking now. I mean, Profit Bear cooking now. You went from working to cooking dinner. He said some Jamaican shit. Okay, some curry chicken. Let's pull this right here. We had so many entries, and now I know not to back out like that. Everybody who was here earlier, but that's why you got to stay for the whole stream, because I know you guys probably went back to doing your things on X, but stay engaged and always keep posting in the chat, because people will watch this later on. Like, we have viewers all around the world. So when we go to sleep and we're doing other stuff, this YouTube video is still finding new people to talk to.
Right.
This thing's still working. Let's pull this right here. Come on, give it to somebody who wants it. Oh, come on. Yes.
Profit Bear.
Profit Bear. Let's go. Man, I love this guy, man. He's just a good guy, man. We need guys like this in the space. Man. There we go. What, Profit Bear? Talk to me, baby. Come on now. Blunt, well, I'll have Profit Bear DM you. I got his contacts. Thank you, Saphir. You're absolutely amazing, bro. Without you, it wouldn't be a fire stream. So I really appreciate you, broski. Same thing with Blunt House. Blunt, any words to Profit Bear so he can figure this out and how he should navigate this to best get in contact with you?
First thing, follow me on TradingView. That'll kind of be a first step. And send me a private message there. And maybe, Rico, you can connect the two of us so we know we're talking to the right people.
Yeah, for sure.
And Profit Bear, once, I grant you access, you'll have it for 30 days, and I'll work with you to help you set it up so that it's you can get right at it.
Yeah, he's absolutely amazing. I've talked to Profit Bearer multiple times on the phone. I'm really close to the Jesus Coin community. I think we need some positive things happening in the space. And I mean, what better than, we were mentioning his name back to back. So I'm actually glad that we erased all those things and it landed. I was like, just give it to somebody who wants it. Come on, baby. Sure enough. So
awesome.
Go ahead, bro.
No, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to getting them set up and on the way to making some money.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do for this man and his amazing, beautiful family. Shout out to him. He has a thriving, amazing family. He's a family man of God, repping the Jesus coin. I mean, doing his thing, a lot of positive things. I'm not going to give away no alpha, but I heard Jesus coin is working on something pretty big coming up. I'm not going to give their alpha away, but like I said, I'm really close and tapped into Prophet Bear. So I'm glad he won. Somebody's always giving to the space. He's given away so many channel memberships to my channel. I don't think nobody has given away channel memberships as much as Prophet Bear. So a lot of you guys that are members, that's been Prophet Bear just trying to help the channel grow as well, to help us all grow. So I love when these things come back full circle. You put some good in and then you get some good out, and that's what it's all about. So Blunt, this was an amazing live stream. We just creeped up to 1,277 people live with us on multiple social media platforms. I think we knocked it out the park. When most people are tucking tail, they don't even want to look at the crypto market. They're like, forget about it. I don't even want to hear change. We're over here showing everybody what's up, man. Thank you again so much, Blunt.
You're very welcome, and hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Absolutely. So, fam, this is about where we wrap it up, man, where I do this little outro thing that I'm supposed to do as a YouTuber, influencer / whatever you guys want to call me. But next Wednesday, we're going to possibly be doing this again with Blunt. If I can, get into his schedule, make sure that we can get him in over here. And also, if you guys want to say, hey, I don't want to wait till Wednesday. And you know what, Rico? I like Blunt, you're nice, Rico, but I want to check out this Blunt guy. I want you guys to come over here and tune in on the Feg Token chat, so you guys can see him Tuesdays and Thursdays. You guys don't have to wait till I show up and drag him into this live stream. I got to twist his arm. I'm like, Blunt, get in here. I need to get some more of that wisdom from you. You guys don't have to wait. You guys can just join him in the Feg chat, where all those smart DeFi tokens hang out and we have fun and we learn together. So, our communities are not panic selling when they don't have to. Maybe they can make some more capital to put investments into their favorite project. Maybe they're making some extra capital so they don't have to sell their favorite project, but go take their lady out to eat, right? Keep her in good graces and say, hey, I'm making some extra money, so don't worry about that bag that I'm holding. I'm making some other money over here, and this is what we're here to do. And if we grind together, we truly will shine together. So give this man a follow at Blunt420. Also, if you guys can, man, I mean, it keeps the wheels, it keeps things going, man. Give me a follow over here as well at Rico Moneybags. Look at that, man. We knocked it out the park. Over 1,200 people live, creeping up on 1,300. And we're going to keep doing this. I think we got a good blunt where we're giving them a good amount of fun, a good amount of alpha, a good amount of B&B, some stuff. It's just perfect, man.
Like you say to me sometimes, it's that, using this now feels almost illegal.
It does.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of it's a great feeling once you get it. You're like, oh my God, did I just do that?
Yeah.
Was anybody looking? Anyways, listen, have a great night. I'm glad we got to do this. Looking forward to doing it again. And Prophet Bear, look forward to working with you too. So.
Absolutely. And Prophet Bear, thank you for those extra channel members, man. Fam, I'm going to wrap it up right here. This was absolutely amazing. Like Jace, you guys see him. He's in the XPX chat. He always says, Rico, it's so hard for you to say goodbyes. And I don't like to say goodbye. So I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. And how about I just see you guys later? So much love and respect, and I'll catch you guys later.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.